Good afternoon. I just want to share with you our experience for the last 6 months of our volunteering work in Greece with the refugees, mainly with the Syrian and Iraqi Arabic speakers. And also, I want to share with you our four-step approach, planning work for psychosocial support for the refugees. We are Humanity Crew. We are a humanitarian aid agency focusing psychosocial and educational support for now for refugees in Greece, and hopefully to expand our work wherever they need us. And what the problem now? I think that this is one of the most famous, or in the media almost every night and every day, talking about the Syrian refugees or the Iraqi or the refugee crisis in Europe. And just a little things about this crisis. And after the war in Syria and Iraq, there's a lot of refugees around Syria and Iraq that came to Lebanon, Greece, Turkey, and also they moved also until Europe to Germany, and made some kind of trial for the refugees until last March that around more than 1 million refugee did this trial. They went from Syria to Istanbul, then they go to Lesvos, which is a Greek island. This Greek island is very close to Turkey, and it was the focus for all the refugees because they want to be in the EU land. Everyone asked the same questions, why they don't pass here, because Turkey doesn't allow this. And they took the boats, the terrible pictures that we saw in videos during the last year. Then they moved from Lesvos to Athens by the ferry, then they go to the Saloniki and Macedonia border, and they move to Serbia, Hungary, and then to Germany. The thing is that in the 20th of March, there was a deal between the EU and Turkey, and they closed this canal of the Aegean Sea, and also they closed the border with the Macedonia. A lot of refugees stuck in this trial now, around between Lesvos and Saloniki, and there is a lot of camps now in Greece, most of them not organized and not officially, but in gas station in the port of Athens, and we're talking about 50,000 refugees. And there is also all the issue about 1 million refugees that are around Europe, between Germany mainly and Hungary and Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, also now France and Portugal. What we are doing actually there in Greece for the last 6 months. Our mission is to reconnect the body to the soul. It's so simple. It's maybe it's cliche, but it's really what we are doing. It starts with this picture. This is a kid, on the 28th of October 2015. He 5 hours in the Aegean, around 2 o'clock in the morning. A long CPR. It was a success for us. There I used my emergency and my surgeon skills before I became a child psychiatric, and he was survived. 1 week after we came back home, me and my wife, she also volunteered there, and she gives psychosocial support in the hospitals. She talked about this case. Before I was thinking that I am a Superman. I did, as a surgeon, I am hero, I am God, I saved this child, it was a success story for me. And this is the feeling that I went to bed with. But when I heard from my wife a week after about the story about this kid, and I understand that this kid was three days in the hospital in a stupor state. He lost his dad, and there was no one to talk with him. Especially he speaks Arabic, he also doesn't react, 5 hours in the sea, all the trauma he passed, and he just decided or let's say that the body and the soul decide to separate, because this was the only chance for this kid to survive what he had. And after Maria, my wife, just did an incredible job with him. She have a BA in psychology, she's a lawyer, but she'd go there to be part of this mission. And she just talked with him and all the time tried to hug him, talking in the language he understands. He just moved after a couple of days and he went down to bed. He took her by hand and he go to the glass door of the hospital and he put his hand like this and he said, "I want home." This was the first thing that he said, and we think it's the last thing because we lost him because we have no other follow-up that days. So when we come back, we say, okay, we should do something. Again, I forget that I'm a child psychiatric, a psychotherapist, and I go back to the feeling of being surgeon for the last 3 years. And I decide, me and my wife and a lot of friends, to have this humanity crew, this humanitarian agency focus in this kind of support, which is actually not sexy, if I can say that. And there is no funds a lot that want to give money for this. There is no nice picture of Superman holding a baby going out of the sea and with the nice shots and people just come and give you money for this nice picture of being a hero. Just sitting with a kid somewhere in a hospital, and you look like him. Actually, we look like refugees. We are coming from the same area. So it was so not, and things you want to do. And so we decided to do this job. And we create our team, and we start working there since the last 6 months. But we want to do it right, and we don't want to do it professionally. And so we focus and we wrote our working plan, which is the four-step approach. That it's a psychosocial support work plan that we're working by this time for the last 6 months, almost 5 months. And we have the first step, which is our mobile clinic, and we'll talk about it later more. We have the first step is the mobile clinic is on the beach, in the port, inside the JMC. We have partners with the other organizations, the Proactive Open Arms, the Spanish lifeguards. We work with them and we give psychological first aid inside the AJM. We have, in the second step, we have a crisis management, and we do a crisis intervention, the addict intervention, social support, and PTSD protective protocols and other issues that we write lately. We do it in the camps, hospital, in the clinics. And the third step, we have the follow-up, because we want the story of Ahmad. What we do supportive psychotherapy. Through social media, hotline, and teletherapy. And the fourth step is it's a treatment, what we call the silent country. Like in Germany, we try to make connection with other organizations and authorities there to give him reports about the special cases, to be follow up after that and to take the right treatment. Because what we did, we just handed them not to break through and break down and to continue. But when they arrive, the silent country, they need the special attention. Our first step, what we do actually is a psychological first aid. We do it, we have a car with a mental health personnel and other volunteers that will train to do psychological first aid. And we receive boats in the port, in the shore, or even we have psychological first aid personnel that do this in the rescue boats of the Spanish lifeguards, and we start calming down people in the focus of the kids, because the kids there, especially infants, are in terrible situations. They are crying. Until now, we still have the voices in our head that every night, like in 4 o'clock in the morning, when they came in the boat, like in the dark and it's raining, and you see like 900 gram infant, just 36 weeks, that born 2 days before in a private clinic in Turkey, and you don't know how he survived 5 hours of freezing, and you hold him with the life jacket, and you thought that you're going to throw it because it's empty, but then you saw that this small tiny head inside the life jacket, and you said, it's a baby. So it's crazy. So there's someone need also not just to give this medical first aid, but also a psychological first aid in the scene. We should not wait until they arrive Germany or they arrive the camp and to do things there. We all know that the scene of the trauma is the most important place to start treating and also preventing trauma. So we do all our work in the scene of the trauma, trying not to make the split of the bad and good memories, to make the integration so the kid can also can laugh, can calm down, can feel the achievement of arriving to the shore, and so the shore will become also a good and a bad place. But then when there's an attack of this bad memory, there's also the good memories of being arrive and succeed to do this terrible journey. After we do this, we have a second assessment. We saw that if there is any cases that people collapse, or there's some kind of illusion when they arrive Greece because they feel that the journey is over, but they still need to walk until Germany or Switzerland, and now it's different. Now the border is closed. But the thing is that these people, with all the defense mechanisms, they just collapse in the moment they arrive the shore, and they hold all the time with like fight or flight state. And when they arrive Greece, even they know that they should start walking into Germany, they just collapse. And all the trauma from Syria and Turkey and the border just raise up, and we start seeing people that even cannot smile, that they just survive. And these cases, we took them by our mobile clinic, and we detect them, and we move them to centers like, which is a refugee camp, a special one for vulnerable cases, or to the clinics, or we follow them to the government hospitals, and we do the second step. Some pictures of our work in the beach and also inside the Aegean, and playing with the kids, just trying to have any kind of reaction. If you see this face of this baby, there's no reaction. We work so hard, we need a reaction. We tell all our team that we need a reaction from these babies as much as we can, because we need to also connect that moment with a feeling of safety. We do a lot of focusing on the mother and an infant, because the mother is crying, she's in tension, she's in anxiety, and she's holding the baby, and the baby is crying, and the scene is terrible because both of them are in so anxiety. She's holding the baby like this, and she's trying to calm him down. And so we go there. The problem, like, there's a lot of good volunteers that take the baby and they try to calm him down, but he also doesn't speak the language. So we go to this unit, the mother and the infant, and we try to call the mother, to call her down, to calm her down, to talk with her, and it's like miracle. And like 1 minute after she calmed down, the baby also calmed down and can achieve something already in the beach. The second step, after all the families just continue the journey, but there's vulnerable cases that move to the hospital because they are pregnant or injured or lost someone, or the defense mechanism just collapsed and all the trauma raised up from the past. We have some stuff that we do there. One of them is like crisis intervention with the person that had a problem, because there is no really ability and a good setting for a long intervention. Sometimes we use drug by, with some kind of work with the Greek authorities, the doctors there. And we also do a dyadic intervention. And one of the things that we do is the PTSD protective protocol, that we try to, also the other family members that arrive, and also the members that are vulnerable cases and they come to the hospital or to the camp, we try to protect them from not have PTSD. So we use a lot of sounds, hearing, smells, touch. We don't give simple food. We give, for example, manaish, which have a very nice smell. So these things that just reactivate the good memories from the past. It's just like you really actually, when you saw a man or a family smelling this food, you see that there's a fight inside their brain. they told you. There is one line that just says, go down into the, and he told us why you are doing this to me. I just remember my mom now. I am sitting in halal, and I'm just sawing her next to me. And a lot of it, he said, it's cruel, why are you doing this? And we say, no, this is the good fight that we need. And we give a lot of materials they can do something for like their traditional foods, so feel the life go back to normality. And a lot of things that we do in this protocol, which is a big one. And also we have, we go inside the tents and we do, this is a team of phototherapy, that they use the cameras with the families. In the Avatar in Saloniki, we have also clinical psychologists who work with men and youth. We have art therapy. We have a farming project in several places in Greece, so they can do something with themselves during the day, especially now when the borders are closed. And we have group therapy for also for women and girls. We have a psychosocial support team in the hospitals, and we noticed in the last 3 months, when they stay a lot of time now in Greece, that life is going on, so there's a lot of baby birth. And one of the things that just we noticed, is, I think it's a little bit crazy, they didn't take care of the baby. They didn't go and wash the baby. The babies smell bad, and you don't understand why. And after some follow-up and going around the hospital, we just understand that this woman, before like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, doesn't matter, she was pregnant, and she was in a boat in her way from Turkey to Germany, to Greece. She's holding her baby so, like she's so anxious not to lose this baby in this crazy scene. And now she needs to take this baby after he's born and to put it inside the water and inside that thing that in the same shape of a boat. And we understand that they have a problem with that. They're afraid. They say we can't put a water in this kid. And also they have a problem with give this new baby old clothes. Well, the things that there's a lot of contribution and donation from other organizations, but 99% of them are old or used, and they have some kind of problem to have these things. So they need like a clean thing. So one of the things that we do, we go there, we teach breastfeeding, we teach how to wash the baby, we follow them, we give them new clothes, so they can feel and they can really help the baby, especially that they are a young woman, and mothers around 19 and 18 sometimes, they have no mother-in-law or mother with them, they are alone. Even now the husbands are not allowed to come. He's still in they have to stay in the detention center. So this issue now, we're building our team in the hospital, and we're trying to adjust our work there for the things that could changes. We have also educational centers as much as we can, and they allow us. And in Saloniki, we try to teach that. Also, the session that when we have art class, it's actually art therapy, and which is it's a music therapy. So we try to make like from 8 to 2, but to be like some kind of also educational and also mental health treatment. And when we cannot reach someone, because we are a small NGO actually, and we are professional and we don't pay money for anyone, they should be volunteering all the time, because if we start paying people money, then all the concept will collapse. And we don't want to be, this is our work, we want to be just voluntary work. And when we cannot reach somewhere, we send our expert to do a workshop. And it is the cultural aspect, or what's the meaning of death on a board and stuff like this. We do several expert workshops also for the UNHCR and also for a lot of NGOs in Greece. And the third step, after this family or this unit or the baby or the mother, they recover from any trauma or illness, so they give birth and they start moving to Germany, which used to be before March, or now to other camps. We do the third step, because these vulnerable cases, they need someone to follow up them, because they just walk by themselves all the trial. they will feel abounded, and we don't really treat them. They will feel that there's a lot of obstacles, sometimes also no money, and they need someone to listen to them. So we follow them by WhatsApp. Each one of the mental health personally have some group of refugees that follow them by WhatsApp. Now we have a nice thing, it's called group therapy by WhatsApp. We gather it all together, because I used to have my phone and couldn't do anything in my life because it's like all the time someone asking questions or complaining. So I say, okay guys, so I did a group for all of them, and I say, okay, introduce you to each other. All of you are refugees in different places in this tribe, and now I just do like a group therapy. They start talking, say, in Romania, in Greece, the situation is bad. And someone from Echo Station camp say, no, here is more bad. And they start discussing the situation. Sometimes I intervene, I have like some intervention when I saw that there's something is not good, as any group therapy. And then we continue. Also, we have teletherapy by Skype for special cases that we know. Like we have there's also a good friend for me, but not for the psychologist that had a treatment for him. Give him a treatment that he lost his family, 7 kids and wife. He's now in France. So he had his own psychologist that do the Skype treatment because no one gave him any attention for this. And we also have a hotline. Now it's basic. We try to make it like a center for anyone to call. We have a lot of violence against women, against kids, sexual harassment inside the camps. So we have this small, tiny hotline that they call us, and we go to the camp and we try to make some kind of intervention. And the first step is the treatment. We call the treatment is a long-term psychotherapy or long-term psychiatric intervention. We need a setting, as you know. And it's in the asylum countries. Like in Germany, we try to build connection with other organizations and authorities. We have small, nice NGOs that are working with us, and then a group of psychologists in Regensburg University in Germany, that there's some kind of start to do work together. The thing is that what we want to do is to give this report, the road, to write a full report. We wrote a full report about the families, about this case, that we give the treatment from since he arrived to Germany, to Greece and then Germany, and we give it to the other side in Germany, the authorities or the NGOs. For sure, the refugee and the patient say yes for this. And then he can have a full documented history and all the intervention he had, and then he can give him a right treatment, and we make it life easy, because we think that we want him to take treatment, to be honest. We want to help him to recover, but we sell that actually to Europe by what's now the background of the terrorist. He is a weak family, socioeconomic, mental health problems and stuff like this. And these people that pass all these terrible things, if we don't give him a right treatment and intervention, they will be so easily recruited by extremists to do something in the future. And this is what we should all the time know and remember. There is no bad people. All of us born good people. The thing is, what's the experience and what things that we have and we pass in our life. And these families, most of them like me and better than us. Like someone I helped him, and he said I'm a doctor, and he studied with my neighbor in Bulgaria for his PhD in economy, and he born also in some area like my family, and he's a doctor and PhD in economy. And then I wrote about him in Wikipedia. It was like crazy, and he was like, these people, us, it's like us. The adults is fine, but the infants, we need to do some kind of intervention, because even though they will be 18 and 20, they will take an airplane, they will go to also to United States, and they will stay in Europe, and they will be everywhere. They are people, they are human, and they have the right to be human, and they have the right to have a treatment for their own soul also, not just for the body. They are not numbers, and they are not people that need to give them food and clothes. This is the only thing that now they are focusing on it in Greece. Food, water, shelter. That is not true. They need to feel normal. They need to have school, someone to talk with them, and to do any kind of rehabilitation That's all they need, actually. So in the fourth step, we try to have this connection and to have also a continuity with other organizations for this treatment to be really close. We have also some kind of nice project called Project Hope with NY University and Bank Street School in New York. It's about transitional object. We try to give as much as we can, as we also we can do this, but to give a transitional object by winning to each kid because they are ongoing and they don't have really something with them all the time. They can pick the transitional object. We know that it's a little bit weird, but we're trying to do this with these kids. And actually, that's it. You can connect us, contact us, and actually we have a video. Can you play it? And the small picture here, if you just press it.
Review to do it.
Oh, no. You do it? With a mouse, just go here. Yeah, go to that picture. Yes, I'm playing. Hey! It's a lot of weird. It's 6 hours in the jail. So this is the things that we try to do in the course, that he can be happy, have a memory if a good thing, he feel a hero, he asked for a picture because he's a hero. We told him the story that he's a hero, he passed the exam, he survived, he's a good kid, he's a big, he's strong, and he had a present, and he asked for a picture. He said, I'm a hero, so can he take a picture of me? So this is the things that we try to do in the course, also inside the gym, and also in the everywhere that we can find us. His name is Omar, and we lost him. Like he's fine, but I lost him. I don't know where he is. He's German probably because he's in October. He's a lovely kid. This is the kiss. Thank you.
Just one comment. You should present this, what you did just now, to a lot of policymakers, and because this is moving, and getting you into this, what there's happening. And people should know, especially in Germany, we have a problem with policy about refugees, a very big problem. The media is very bad about this. And I just want to make a comment, just this must go to students, volunteers, possible volunteers, and policymakers.
We try to bring the professional side of our experience with the fourth step, because actually I am a resident physician in Sharjah, psychiatric, and I'm also in a psychoanalytic psychotherapy school at the institute. And we need help by professionals, not money we need all the time, but we don't care about money. We actually need someone to follow us and to support us as professionals to how to develop these things. We know that we're doing good things because we see results, but we also try to bring ourselves to a professional position and to take some kind of cooperation or any kind of help from others about PTSD. Is it right what we do with smell and sounds, or it's not right? Stuff like this. That's why we're here.
Hello, thank you for this presentation. I'm wondering, I heard you describe about your volunteers who are providing the psychological support, and I think you said even yourself you're waking up sometimes in the middle of the night thinking about a child or a baby that you have. So what kind of support are you able to provide, or do you have some support for your volunteers and some kind of supervision?
Actually, we all the time say this, my wife, yeah, she's our CEO, and humanity crew is our treatment, and for sure that we are not mentally. And what we did, actually, we want things to be different. So we gave a full course before leaving Palestine or Israel for volunteering for all the volunteers. And also when they come back, we give them 10 sessions of psychotherapy for free, and also if they want more, they can have more. We have a coordinator, which is a clinical psychologist there, that have a debriefing session every night, and if he sends us 3 follow-up about someone that is not stable, we bring him back directly. Because of our experience, which was, we were there, it's actually like naked, like to see dead bodies and hearing voices, and tell them we are not okay, and this is like our prolonged exposure therapy.
Thank you.
Can I also have a comment, Campbell? Hi, I'm Kayapura, and I'm from the WAIMH, from the mother organization of this Congress. And I was just thinking that maybe we should start working together, because this was really absolutely fantastic presentation. And we are the organization with the professionals, particularly for the infants and their families. And Minna here, who is our administrative assistant, just asked whether or not we could sort of spread out this video that you have in order to sort of make the thing that you were talking about, letting a lot of people see it. Because the problem of dehumanizing these people is everywhere. It's also in Finland, and it's a terrible thing. So thank you so much for this presentation.